Tonight on NewsVision. After years of trying to keep spring breakers away, Miami Beach is welcoming them with open arms this spring break. We will tell you why they made the change.
Our city is back. Miami Beach is back.
Plus, we will tell you how the war in Iran is impacting us here in South Florida. And later on, Happy 305 Day. Hurricanes athletics and UM students celebrated March 5th with an extra cause.
I'm all about sports. Like, I love Miami Heat, I love Dolphins, and I'm always a UM fan. Go Canes.
All these stories and more tonight on NewsVision. And it starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to NewsVision. I'm Mary Stoss.
And I'm Johnny Mushton. Thank you for joining us. We have breaking news. Kristi Noem is out as the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security.
President Trump made the announcement Thursday on social media saying he removed Noem out of her position and would nominate Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma to replace her. Noem has faced growing scrutiny over her conduct, including an alleged romantic relationship with her chief advisor and her conflicting accounts over fatal shootings involving federal immigration agents. She has also faced questions about her agency's advertising campaign that prominently showcased Noem and reportedly cost the department more than $200 million to produce. Noem was also criticized for the decision to pause TSA PreCheck during the current DHS funding lapse, a move that was reversed within hours. The final straw came after her performance during congressional hearings this week.
It came at not a complete surprise, but it came at a little bit of surprise for us. I look forward to working with him and his cabinet. Of course, we still got to go through this little thing called confirmation.
Noem is the first cabinet secretary to be fired by Trump this term, a strong contrast from last term where President Trump had a turnover of 14 secretaries. She has been appointed for the envoy for the Shield of the Americas, a new position to lead a security initiative in the Western Hemisphere.
Well, spring break is here, and while most UM students tend to leave Miami, it's also a big hotspot for tourists.
After years of harsh restrictions, Miami Beach is finally welcoming back tourists for the break.
And Taryn Jacobs is live in Miami Beach with more on what this year's spring break will look like. Taryn?
Guys, March is designated as a high impact period here on Miami Beach, and this weekend is the first weekend that the city is expecting a lot of activity. They're finally welcoming back tourists for spring break, and many of the residents that have left around this time of year are now staying. The city has not provided an estimated number of the amount of visitors that they do expect, but last year with the restrictions, they saw over 500,000 overnight visitors, and that number can only be expected to grow this year. Over the past few years, there were strict rules for spring breakers, and now those are finally being relaxed.
3 years ago, spring break in Miami looked like this. Violence that left 2 people dead, hundreds of arrests, and utter chaos on the streets. Since then, the city has implemented strict enforcement measures, including license plate readers, curfews, bag checks, restricted beach access, DUI checkpoints, surged parking rates, and a massive law enforcement presence.
Our city is back. Miami Beach is back.
City officials say those restrictions work. Last year, there were no spring break related shootings or fatalities.
Instead of the chaos and lawlessness, we had order.
And this year, the city has launched a $425,000 new spring break campaign called Wake Up to a New March.
A man has woken up after 10 years. The first thing he wants to do with his new lease on life, party like it's 2016.
Instead of party promotions, the focus is on health and wellness events, fitness activities, and family-friendly programming. Some events include Woodapalooza, the ATHX Games, and High Rocks. But officials say the restrictions are not going anywhere.
We are still very much broken up with spring break, with no interest in ever getting back together.
Parking in the Art Deco district starts at a $40 flat rate and can be increased if necessary. Ocean Drive remains restricted, and license plate readers and DUI enforcement are still in place.
If we want to come down here, get into mischief, break our laws, disrupt our way of life, then we're going to lock them up. We're going to take them to jail, and we're going to ruin their spring break.
The city's message is clear.
Bottom line, If you're coming to enjoy Miami Beach responsibly, you're welcome here. If you're coming to break the rules, don't bother.
The first major fitness event that the city of Miami Beach will host is the Gym Reapers Woodapalooza that's happening next weekend. And that event alone is expected to bring in 40,000 visitors to Miami Beach. And I reached out to a lot of these businesses and visited them behind me on Ocean Drive, asking how past restrictions have affected their business, but none of them wanted to provide a comment. One hotel owner did speak to CBS Miami, saying that past year's restrictions have, quote, strangled their business, but that may change this year because Mayor Minor said that hotel room rates broke records in January and are running higher than they have in past years. And to find more information on spring break in Miami restrictions and events, visit the URL on the screen. Live in Miami Beach, Taryn Jacobs, UMTV.
Thanks, Taryn. The war against Iran continues in the Middle East, with Iran retaliating by striking American allies in the region. It has been almost a week since the United States launched Operation Epic Fury alongside Israel against Iran. The early strikes killing the country's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, and several members of the government's line of succession. According to Secretary of State Marco Rubio, the reason for the military action was an imminent threat.
There absolutely was an imminent threat, and the imminent threat was that we knew that if Iran was attacked, and we believed they would be attacked, that they would immediately come after us.
But the operation is sparking a sharp political debate in the U.S. Some Democrats argue Trump cannot launch a military operation like this without congressional approval.
There's most certainly not congressional authorization, and the justification is ever changing. We've heard 3 or 4 different justifications for why this is taking place.
But Republicans point to previous military strikes ordered by both Republican and Democratic presidents without formal declarations of war.
I clapped like a seal when Obama took out bin Laden, so the Democratic Party has just sort of lost its way.
The conflict has already turned deadly for American troops. At least 6 have been killed since the war began, and President Trump said he expects that number to rise.
And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is.
The State Department is urging all Americans in the region to leave if possible.
We have hundreds of people right now proactively reaching out to people with those options to make sure we bring every single American home who wants to come home.
The war is also affecting Americans' wallets back home. Gas prices are soaring after Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz to U.S. and Israeli ships, threatening to attack any that sail across. 20% of the entire world's oil supply passes through the narrow passage of water off of the southern coast of Iran.
The oil tankers are not going through it as missiles are flying, and in fact, we've got reports of at least 4 tankers that have diverted away or are dropping anchor.
Gas prices rising 11 cents per gallon in one day, the largest single-day increase since Hurricane Katrina back in 2005. Many Americans waking up to higher prices amid ongoing affordability issues.
I do drive a lot. I'm not sure what my break point will be. I'm not there yet.
As tensions rise abroad, law enforcement agencies across the country are also increasing security. Officials say Iran has long been considered a state sponsor of terrorism and could potentially try to retaliate. Here in South Florida, Miami police say they are stepping up patrols. Miami Police Chief Manuel Morales released a statement that said, quote, "Out of an abundance of caution, we have increased patrols and enhanced our presence around sensitive locations, including houses of worship, cultural institutions, and areas that may be directly affected by rising tensions." The city is implementing measures that include uniformed and undercover officers, specialized units, traffic control strategies, and coordinated emergency response protocols. Officials say there is no specific or credible threat to South Florida at this time.
We'll take a short break now, but don't go anywhere, because coming up, we'll tell you why Miamians are staging protests at the headquarters of a software company. Plus, America celebrates its 250th birthday with some historic artifacts on display in South Florida. These and more stories after the break. Stay with us.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
On Tuesday evening, protesters gathered outside of data firm Palantir's new South Florida headquarters in Aventura, north of Miami, targeting the company's work with ICE and the federal government. Activists have long criticized the company's government contracts and ties to the Israeli Defense Forces. Now, immigration advocates are focusing on Palantir's $30 million ICE surveillance project. And at Tuesday's protest, they carried signs that said, "Pa fuera Palantir," or in English, "Get out Palantir." The protesters also brought piñatas that resembled President Trump and the company co-founder Peter Thiel to take out their frustrations.
These companies need to have some type of oversight. They need to be pulled into Washington, D.C. and not just simply ask questions, but actually regulate it and make sure that they are following the standards that they should be following in order to protect the American public.
Protesters say they will go wherever Palantir goes, continuing to share their message of resistance.
As part of the United States' 250th anniversary celebration, some national treasures will soon be part of a tour all around the country and are even set to make a stop right here in Miami. A so-called Freedom plane carrying at least 10 lesser-known founding-era documents from the National Archives took off from Washington, D.C.'s airport on Monday, kicking off the Documents That Forged a Nation tour. Among the documents are a stone engraving of the Declaration of Independence, an early draft of the U.S. Constitution, and even the Treaty of Paris, which ended the American Revolutionary War against Great Britain.
So really to help Americans to connect with their past, to understand who they are and where they've come from. Really, you know, every American is an heir to what the Founding Fathers envisioned and what they wrote into history on these documents.
Miamians can see the documents for themselves for free when they go on display at the History Miami Museum from June 20th through July 5th. A festival will also be held at the Museum Plaza on the 4th of July to celebrate the country's 250th anniversary.
From chickens to goats to pigs, one Miami middle school is raising more than livestock. It's raising responsibility and putting it on display at its farmers market. Valentina Carbonell has the story.
From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on February 28th, Arvida Middle School in Miami hosted its Global Farmers Market, an event which gives the community a first-hand look at one of Miami-Dade's most unique programs.
It's a mix of both adults and children, but for everyone, it's a learning experience.
Visitors move between booths while supporting the school's programs. This may look like a normal farmer's market, vendors, food, and families walking together. But at Arvida Middle School, they do it a little different. The global program students take care and raise animals like Crumb here. And this farmer's market is to show the community what they've done together. As part of Arvida's Global Magnet program, students care for chickens, goats, and pigs on campus throughout the entire school year.
Animals just relax me a lot, being with them. And it helps me because I want to be a veterinarian.
Brittany isn't alone. Across the program, students say the experience reshapes how they see learning altogether.
It makes students feel free, but at the same time, you're learning something.
The responsibility doesn't stay on campus. Parents say they've noticed changes beyond the classroom.
She's been taking care of animals here, and she's more responsible now since then.
And the proof was right on the table. Eggs from the school's own chickens up for sale. But those animals weren't always part of the campus. Christina Armada brought them into Arvida's global program.
When your job is to take care of a living creature, there's accountability, and you are able to see the product of all of your hard work.
It brings me a lot of pride seeing that so many people are so excited to be here.
For Arvida Middle School, Saturday's market offered the community a look at the students' work in action. For UMTV, I'm Valentina Carbonell.
Well, Johnny, it looks like that was a beautiful sunny day at the farmers market. And speaking of sunny, I have been loving this weather.
You're loving it. I'm loving it. I'm sure those animals are loving it too. The cows, the goats. And speaking of goats, we got our very own goat of weather. Student meteorologist William DePaula. He is here to talk a little bit more about the weather for this weekend. Will?
Yeah, guys, the weather down here has been absolutely gorgeous the last couple of days, and today was no exception. Taking a look at the temperature right now, still hovering right around those upper 70s down here in Miami. Much of South Florida is right around that same temperature, right below that 80-degree mark. Much of the state today actually did push up into those 80s, so we've been dealing with some really, really nice temperatures down here. Unfortunately, with these nice temperatures, it has been a little bit more humid outside, so your shirt might be sticking to you. Luckily, we've been dealing with a nice sea breeze the last couple of days, and that isn't going to go anywhere. We see this throughout the day today and into tomorrow afternoon. That sea breeze is going to be coming off the water. It's going to be nice and cool for us, so it's going to be great weather to head on outside. That's not going anywhere as we push on into the weekend as well. See Saturday, that sea breeze is still going to be kicking up all along the coast, so it's going to be really nice if you want to head on out to the beach. Now, one problem with this sea breeze is it does increase the rain chances for us sometimes. We see tomorrow, it's not going to be an issue for us here in Miami. It's going to be on the west coast, but unfortunately, as we push into Saturday, we see those rain chances starting to bother us down here in Miami, popping up as we push into the early morning hours on Saturday and then sticking around into the afternoon. Now, any rain is going to be good rain for us because we've been dealing with a horrible drought this year. This new drought monitor came out early this morning, and we see much of the state is still in that extreme drought. We see that red. Upwards of 70% of the state is under that. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, we did get some rain last weekend, did we not? Parts of Miami got around an inch and a half. But look at that. We are so far below average for this time of year. We are still in that moderate drought. And if you've been paying attention, this red area out to the west of us has actually expanded as those areas are still so far below average for this time of year. And unfortunately, as we look at our next 7 days, we don't see much rain in the forecast at all. That'll be great news for people down here for spring break with those great temperatures, and we don't see any rain until late on next week.
Well, thank you, Will. Now, many University of Miami alum students are making a big difference in the community.
One of them is Alejandro Barriga, who is working to increase access to books for children. Reporter Vivian Amoya is here to tell us more. Vivian, what can you tell us about Barriga's mission?
Yeah, Alejandro Barriga and his team have been collecting books and distributing them to schools, not just here in Florida, but also nationally and internationally. The goal is to increase literacy and make sure children have access to free books. They are hosting a series of events to promote that, and I attended one of them to see firsthand the impact on children and their families. When University of Miami alum Alejandro Barriga was just 16 years old, he was taking the trash out when he noticed a neighbor throwing away brand new books. Where others saw garbage, Barriga saw opportunity.
I knew that I kind of felt something that I should be doing something with these books, especially them being like brand new. It kind of hurt. So I took them out and I said, okay, let me see who in the community actually needs them. That moment sparked an idea. During the COVID pandemic, Barriga started collecting and distributing books to families who could not afford them. So what began as a small, unofficial nonprofit is now called Books for You. The organization says it has distributed almost 500,000 books and school supplies to families in the United States and internationally, including the firstborn American in his family. Barriga grew up sending boxes of food and clothes to relatives overseas. Today, he believes books as just as essential. You know, reading is a super important thing. It is a basic need and knowledge that everyone needs to know. I mean, writing checks, knowing your legal rights, it's very important. And so, you know, I wanted to push it to the people that didn't know how to read and didn't even know how to read in English either. Throughout the year, Books for You shows up at about a dozen community events where kids can take as many books as they want, free of charge. This past weekend, the organization set up at Miami Mayor Eileen Higgins' Black History Food and Vendor Fair.
You can count on Alejandro and his team of volunteers to show up at events all across our community. Importantly, they are sharing books with kids that might not be able to afford them otherwise. And what started as a two-person operation with Alejandro and his mother collecting books has now grown into a network of more than 300 volunteers. They sort, pack, and deliver books for various ages. The books are stored in a local warehouse and distributed to schools, community groups, and families in South Florida. It's honestly a gift just to see how the kids smile and how they actually care for books. It's just a gift to hear kids that they haven't read a book
and just coming to us and just getting their dream books for free. It makes me feel grateful for everything I have.
Bariga's next goal is to visit over 60 schools in Florida.
So when I really get to see those kids or those few kids that are very happy, it's like a job accomplished. All like the pain and work of getting the logistics, it goes away because I know that like, okay, you know, like he may not remember me, but he'll remember the book and he'll enjoy it.
It's proof that sometimes what one person throws away can become a treasure for the entire community. So far, Bariga has visited about 20 schools in the Miami area, and he says he plans to continue spreading literacy and continue collecting and donating books.
Thanks, Vivian. And coming up on NewsVision, we will bring you the latest in the trial of former football player Rashawn Jones, who is accused of killing one of his teammates.
And put on your dancing shoes. We break down what Miami Men's Hoop's latest win means for their chances in the NCAA tournament. All of this after a short break.
Thousands of kids start vaping, and I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is vaping? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes, look at that. You didn't even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending. Right, backpack kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on.
Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
For many adults with intellectual disabilities, it can be really hard to find a sense of community.
But one South Florida organization is changing that and giving their social lives a makeover. Now we have reporter Brian Matute here to tell us more. Brian, what can you tell us about this org?
Yeah, it's called Puchu and Pals, and it aims to give a sense of joy and passion to adults with special needs. Now, they host events like their recent bash that I attended, as well as community service projects, and they're even taking a group to Disney World in late March. All of this is helping the people they help to explore their self-identity and get a better sense of belonging.
Not long ago, Miami resident Martell Nixon says he struggled to find a place where he felt truly belonged.
Somebody might just say, "Oh, Martell, get out my face. We don't like you no more," or get mad at me for no reason.
But that changed when he found a community through one South Florida organization called Puchu and Pals.
I love just making everybody happy and being friends with everybody.
Puchu and Pals is a Miami nonprofit founded in 2024 that creates social events for adults with disabilities, helping them build friendships, confidence, and community. At their most recent bash, Puchu and Pals volunteers treated attendees to haircuts, makeup, and styling to help them look their best before they hit the dance floor.
That made me feel good. No braids, no trying to be like nobody else. Just be yourself. You gotta be yourself. You be somebody else, that ain't good.
Spaces where adults with disabilities can socialize and feel included aren't always easy to find.
This is where we've kind of created a space for them to be highlighted, meet others, but also have a lot of fun. So they don't even realize that they're learning and developing all these great skills while they're having fun and connecting with others and showing off how capable they are.
In Miami-Dade County alone, more than 250,000 adults live with disabilities, many of them experiencing social isolation and loneliness. Puchu and Pals is trying to change that, one friendship at a time.
So we've had a few pals actually, come to us and say, "Hey, I don't have much to do on weekends. I don't have many friends. Would you guys, be my friend? Would you guys take me out?" And we're with open arms, absolutely, come on board.
For Martell, the organization has become more than just an event. It's a community.
If I didn't ever meet them, I wouldn't have became who I am today. If you try to be somebody else, You don't know what is looking in their shoes, so walk in your own shoes.
A place where being yourself is exactly what everyone celebrates. Brian Matute, UMTV.
Welcome to sports. I'm Liam Hickey alongside Luke Bell. The trial of the former Miami Hurricanes player Rashawn Jones, who was accused of murdering teammate Brian Pata back in 2006, has ended in a mistrial.
The 6-person jury could not reach an unanimous verdict. Prosecutors have scheduled a retrial date for May 18th.
And now shifting to Canes hoops, number 22 ranked Miami picked up a massive win on the road against SMU on Wednesday night to extend their win streak to 3.
Absolutely, and part of that huge win was this man right here, Noam Dovrat. He caught fire. He's 8 for 10 in the last 2 games, 4 for 5 in this one. Look at that bucket. It hits the net. That's what it is. Now listen, Liam, here's the deal. If the Canes want to make a push in March, they got to follow their man's lead and keep shooting like this. Right now, heading into the ACC tournament, they've secured the 3 seed. That would make it so they've got a 2-game bye, and they pretty much have to wait to see who they play.
And let's take a look at the current ACC bracket. Miami slotted to play the number 6 seed, which is expected to be either Louisville or NC State, or they'll play one of these lower seeded teams in the first round of the tournament.
Absolutely, and if everything goes to plan, we might be able to see a rematch between Miami and Virginia. Classic, because that game earlier this year ended in a heartbreaking loss by 3 points. But safe to say, I think Miami wants their get back.
And if they can run the table and make it all the way to the finals, Duke has been the team to beat in the ACC all season long. I would be shocked if it's not the Canes taking on the Blue Devils in a Jay Lucas grudge match for the ACC Tournament Championship.
Absolutely, and putting this thing away, as we move into March, let's not get too excited, but if the tournament started right now, the Canes would secure the 7 or 8 seed. Now, since the tournament doesn't start today, they have an opportunity to roll out, finish big against Louisville, and just secure a better spot. So that would make it so they don't have to play a higher seed like the 1 through 4 until the later stages in March, which would be huge.
And the Canes have the chance to make it their best regular season in program history with a 25th win against Louisville in their Saturday season finale. That's all the time we have here for sports. Johnny, back to you.
Thanks, guys. And finally, Miami-Dade County is celebrating its annual 305 Day, a day to celebrate all things Miami. And the University of Miami held its own festivities for a greater cause. Amanda Muhammad takes us there.
305 Day is a day of celebration for all Miami-Dade residents, but Special Olympics athlete Carolina Puiz celebrates 305 Day every day.
I'm all about sports. Like, I love Miami Heat, I love Dolphins, and I'm always a UM fan. Go Canes.
Born and raised in Miami, Carolina has been a Special Olympics athlete since elementary school, competing in bocce ball, bowling, and pickleball events. But for 305 Day, she took her skills to the basketball court. Well, the Rock Plaza on the University of Miami campus.
I am planning to do like a granny style, like a Miami Heat shooter.
UM Spirit Programming Board called Category 5 and former Canes women's basketball coach Katie Meyer organized the event to raise money for the Special Olympics South Florida, as well as another cause called 24 Hours Nothing But Net, which is an annual 24-hour free throw tournament hosted by ESPN analyst Debbie Antonelli.
We played against each other. I played at Duke and Debbie played at NC State, and we both had beautifully permed mullets when we played against each other. She's just a woman that gives everything back to the community, and I want to follow her lead.
And while Debbie, whose son is also a Special Olympic athlete, wasn't able to make it to today's event, plenty of celebrity hoopers came out to show their skills. From several Special Olympics athletes to Canes baseball and football players, and even former Canes men's basketball coach Jim Larinaga.
This is not about competition or trying to prove yourself at the foul line. This is really about raising money for Special Olympics.
Special Olympics is the largest sports organization for children and adults with intellectual disabilities in the world, supporting almost 5 million athletes and unified partners who train and compete year-round.
Special Olympics Florida is 88,000 strong athletes throughout the entire state with over 28 sports. So the day for Special Olympics, it's competition. So every single day, every single weekend, there's a practice, there's a competition for them to enhance their ability and showcase their skills.
But Special Olympics is about more than just a medal. It's about finding connection not based on abilities, but based on a love for sports. And Carolina is celebrating her city and her skills with the most powerful ability of all: positivity.
All positive vibes in my bones and bodies. No negative.
Amanda Muhammad, UMTV.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight's show. Thank you for joining us.
We'll be back in 2 weeks, same time, same place. Have a great spring break.